Satan go. He goes, you win tonight.
Good evening, and welcome to the Pond Creek Hunter All Sports Ceremony. Tonight is a celebration of an incredible school year and many accomplishments of our student athletes, coaches, and teams. Across every sport, Pond Creek Hunter athletes represented our school with determination, discipline, pride, and excellence. From victories on the field, the court, to personal growth, and team success, this year has been one to remember. Tonight we gather to recognize not only the athletic achievements, but also their character, teamwork, and commitment that define Pond Creek Hunter athletics. Thank you all for being here to celebrate an outstanding year. At this time, Miss Cindy Jondo is going to come forward and present the spring royalty.
Welcome to the Pond Creek Hunter Spring Coronation Ceremony. Our first queen candidate for tonight's ceremony is Miss Elizabeth Stahl. Elizabeth is the daughter of Stephanie Stahl and the granddaughter of Diane and Roger Sparks. She is a senior at PCH and participates in softball and speech and debate. Elizabeth's honors include Stuco President, Senior Class President, and Gifted and Talented, and is a member of the high school academic team. She enjoys reading, painting, and watching crime shows in her free time. After graduation, Elizabeth will attend Oklahoma Baptist University, where she plans to major in elementary education. Escorting Elizabeth is our first king candidate, Mr. Cooper Kelso. Cooper is the son of Chad and Amber Kelso and Shannon Bonzer, and the grandson of Marty and Deborah Kelso, Tony Lackey, Barbara Brown, and Tim and Sherry Grimm. He is a senior at PCH and participates in football, baseball, and trap shooting. In his spare time, Cooper enjoys going to the lake and riding his jet ski and hanging out with friends. After graduating from PCH, Cooper plans to continue firefighter training with the Pond Creek Fire Department. Our second queen candidate for tonight's ceremony is Miss Alana Banks. Alana is the daughter of Amanda Banks and the late Alan Banks, and the granddaughter of Valerie Banks, Jerry Garrison, and the late Robert Banks. She's a sophomore at PCH and participates in basketball, track, and softball. Alana's honors include Gifted and Talented and Student Council, and she was chosen to be on the Skelter All-Conference team in basketball. In her spare time, Alana enjoys spending time with family and friends and playing basketball. After graduating from high school, Alana plans to attend college and is still deciding on her future career plans. Escorting Alana is our second king candidate, Mr. McQuinn Baker. McQuinn is the son of Jeff and Katie Baker and the grandson of Paul and Nikki Baker and Larry and Becky Compton. He is a senior at PCH and participates in football, trap shooting, and golf. McQuinn's honors include being selected to the 8-man All-Star team and All-District team in football. In his spare time, McQuinn enjoys hanging out with friends. After graduating from high school, McQuinn plans to continue working at the F.W. Zaladek Implement Company while he pursues a career at Koch Industries. Our final queen candidate in tonight's ceremony is Miss Summer Holden. Summer is the daughter of Daniel Holden and the granddaughter of Raymond Matlock and the late Margaret Holden Matlock, the late Byron Holden, and the late Larry and Charlotte King. She is a senior at Pond Creek Hunter and participates in cheer, softball, and speech and debate. Her honors include student council. She qualified for the state speech and debate competition and was selected to be on the cheer team for the football 8-man All-Star game. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her friends and family. After graduating from high school, Summer plans to attend a college to receive her certification as an esthetician cosmetologist. Escorting Summer is our final king candidate, Mr. Tate Francisco. Tate is the son of Danita Francisco and James Evans, and Charlie and Valerie Francisco. He is a junior at Pond Creek Hunter, where he participates in baseball. In his free time, he enjoys playing video games with friends. After graduating from high school, Tate plans to attend college at NOC Enid, where he will major in business. Tonight's flower girl is Miss Briley Caldwell. Briley is the daughter of Dane and Caitlin Caldwell and the granddaughter of Tim and Lisa Earl and Kent and Terry Lee. She is in the 1st grade and she participates in basketball, softball, and gymnastics. In her free time, Briley enjoys playing outside, building things with magma tiles, and helping with the cows. When Briley grows up, she plans to be a farmer rancher, just like her dad. Tonight's crown bearer is Mr. Eli Short. Eli is the grandson of Mike and Amanda Kent. Eli is in the 1st grade, and his favorite sport is baseball. In his free time, he enjoys building things with Legos. When Eli grows up, he plans to be a farmer, just like his grandpa. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Palm Creek Hunter Spring Coronation King is Mr. Cooper Kelso. And this year's Palm Creek Hunter Spring Coronation Queen is Miss Summer Holden. Step forward a little bit. Cooper, Summer, you go first.
I'll wait a few minutes for them to get out there. Can you guys hear me? No?
Yes, that's better.
All right, at this time, I'm up here for fast pitch, and I'm gonna go ahead and do slow pitch softball while I'm up here. Obviously, I help Coach Hendricks with fast pitch, and obviously he's not here tonight, so I'm kind of speaking on his behalf tonight. So, at this time, with just all fast pitch, slow pitch girls, you guys, there's just a 1 or 2 girls difference in both teams. So, if you guys all just come up here on the stage right now, and that way we can honor all you guys at this time. I'm getting to hold on the sides of the line, so. While we're waiting on these girls, I'll go ahead and get a few thank yous out of the way. Again, both sports, fast pitch and slow pitch. I want to thank all the administration, the teachers, other coaches, secretaries, everybody that had a hand in helping me at some time. I know during slow pitch season, I probably forgot umpire checks 10 times, had somebody run them out to me after I'd already got out there. So just little things like that you forget about, I really appreciate. Want to thank all the parents. for allowing us to coach your young ladies. Great group of young ladies up here, so really enjoyed them. And then for slow pitch, Coach White helped me out this year. And again, I've been doing it so long by myself. It was unbelievable how nice it was to have some help out there. And again, she was a tremendous asset to us, and I really appreciate all the work she did this spring for me. Like I said, I helped Coach Hendricks in the fall, so I'm kind of speaking on his behalf. I talked to him last night on the phone, and he emailed me something today and wanted me to read it here. So again, these are Coach Hendricks' words, so I'll go ahead and read that. Thank you to the parents and families of our players for allowing me to coach your girls. As most of you know that watched from the beginning of the season, you know it was pretty rough early in the year, but these girls continue to show up every day and work to get better each day. It was a completely different team that played in the district tournament at the end of the year. These girls improved so much more than wins and losses could ever measure. And I also want to say thank you to each one of these girls for allowing me to coach you. I appreciate the hard work that you put in throughout the year. I miss you guys, and I'm sad that I will not be here to coach you next season. But I'm also excited for the direction this program is headed, and I look forward to following your success. Coach Hendricks. So, again, fast pitch, like Coach Hendricks said, we have the rough to start, but I totally agree with him 100%. These girls got really a lot better as the year went on, improved quite a bit from the first practice. It was amazing to see the difference. And so, again, like he said, I'm really excited to watch these girls grow and learn. The underclassmen, I think there's a lot to be excited for the future. Time our three seniors, we had three seniors, both slow pitch and fast pitch. You guys step forward if you guys would, you seniors. Summer Holden, Elizabeth Stoll, Destiny Ortiz. Again, these three young ladies, I told at senior night for slow pitch, I said, you know, I couldn't ask for a better group of girls to lead these girls. They were great leaders all year. Made my job a lot easier. I really appreciate everything they've done. Again, they've been with me, some of them for 6 years. So I appreciate everything they've done throughout their career to help me work hard and allow me to coach them. And again, I really enjoyed these three. And they're going to be successful in life. All three of these girls, tremendous ladies around the school. So again, I think we can look forward to big things from these girls in the future. So I'd like to give these three young ladies a hand. During fast pitch, we did have some awards. I know it's been a long time ago, but I'd like to mention those before we get out of here. The Skelter Conference, we had 2 members make all conference, and I think they've got medals. You guys got your medals already? They'll step forward. Hadley Marriott and Carmen Walker both made all conference this year. And Destiny Ortiz was honorable mention, fast pitch. Slow pitch, again, a lot of these girls, same girls played fast pitch. Again, I really enjoyed these girls. I thought early year we struggled hitting the ball offensively. I thought that was kind of our weak spot. I thought we improved quite a bit. I thought towards the end of the year we hit the ball a lot better. And I thought at the end of the year we were a pretty good team. We just got matched up in a bad district for us against OBA. Kind of let the first game get away from us. In the second game, we really played their tails off. And again, last week of the season, I think we beat 2 top-ranked teams in the season to show kind of the potential we had. We just weren't very consistent hitting the ball, but I thought if we hit the ball, I thought we were a pretty good team. And I told these girls that they're not far off. Kind of like we talked about in fast pitch. There's a bright future for this group of girls, these younger girls. Again, I think there's a lot of potential there, and I told them that after the year was over. I think they can sky's the limit for this group. Had a lot of young girls contribute, and I think they did a great job. As far as awards, we entered a new conference it's not Skelter Conference, but slow pitch. We have our own conference. We started it last year. It's called the North Central All Conference Team. These girls don't know this because we just had our meeting last week and I haven't announced this to anybody, but we had 2 members make the all-conference team. It's a tough league. We play, anywhere from Enid is in our conference, everybody from around this area. So it's a very tough conference. So But we had 2 girls that were selected. Again, this is a big deal because other coaches vote on this stuff. We don't, we can nominate these girls and other coaches get to vote on them and select them. We can't vote on our own girls. So again, if you make all conference and some of this stuff, it's a big honor because other coaches know who you are and respect you guys. So again, our all conference, we had Hadley Marriott and Alana Banks both made all conference. Congratulations. I don't have medals for you like Skelter do, but you guys made all conference. Congratulations. We also had 3 people make honorable mention. Summer Holden, Destiny Ortiz, and Carmen Walker made honorable mention. The last awards I'm going to give, every year I do this, and I make these girls vote on our awards. Again, they're the ones that are in the dugout with them, that are in practice with them, out in the field with them all the time. So we vote on these awards as a team. So at this time, our offensive, again, these selected by the girls, our offensive player of the year this year was Hadley Marriott. Our defensive player of the year was Alana Banks. And then our overall MVP this year was Destiny Ortiz. Again, I really enjoyed these girls. They're a great group of girls, and looking to watch them in the future. I think there's some exciting times ahead of them, and I appreciate everything they've done. And another hand for all the softball girls. So at this time, I think our next speaker is Coach Bowen.
All right, you football boys, go ahead and come up. While they're coming up, I'm going to say a couple of my thank yous. My family's not here tonight, Bailey, she's at home with kids, but those of you that have been around, my son Grayson and Jess, who you guys know that putting up with those two is crazy, and she's with them all the time during football season, so I really appreciate her. Coach Boland is awesome. He's been great. One of the best people I know. We spend a lot of time together during football season. Sundays we're together all the time. I ask a lot of Coach Boland, and he's always happy to do it. And so, well, maybe not happy, but he never lets me know he's not happy. So I really appreciate that. Hey, you guys pass this out. Our other coaches, Coach Sanborn, Coach Streck, Coach Cranbreed, Coach Grimes, those guys came up this year and helped us out a lot, and it was a lot appreciated. The more people you have in football, there's a lot of moving parts. It makes it really, really easier for Coach Boland and I to watch what we got going on, and so I appreciate that. Sabrina and Michaela, I really appreciate you guys and everything you do. I know sometimes that I'm not the easiest to communicate with, so I appreciate you guys helping me out on that, and you guys do a good job. Coach Jones and Coach Kerr are there on Friday nights, and if we ever have a kid that gets banged up, they're always there to help out, and allow us to coach, and I appreciate that. Coach Pete, Jason, Paul, and Jen for getting the field ready before games on Fridays. All of you guys that have helped by donating to our program, our football boosters, helping host meals, monetary donations, all those things. I really appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be able to help have our program run without you guys, so thank you. And then everybody that made trips to the road games. We played 7 road games this year. It was really, really time consuming, and so I appreciate you guys making it there and being out. So this season was a lot of fun. I've joked a lot that it felt good to have a down year for Coach Kerr this year, making it to the semifinals, and so but no, really, these guys had a terrific year. If you're at our first game against Coyle, it was homecoming. I apologize for that. I picked that, so you guys can blame me for that, parents and everybody. But we came out and we all talked. It felt like we didn't play our best game, and those of you that watched, it was ugly. And as the season went on, obviously got a lot better, improved quite a bit. These guys showed up every single week and made an intentional effort to get better. Obviously, culminating in a semifinal trip, which was really special for me. first time as a head coach making it to the semifinals. It was a lot of fun. Getting to be on that stage was a ton of fun. And so something that I'll remember, obviously, this group. And this is another special group because the seniors this year will be the first group of seniors that I've had since they were freshmen and coached all the way through since I've started coaching. And I'll talk a little bit about them later, but I really appreciate those guys. And so really just talking a little bit about this team. I mean, these guys, if you watched us play this year, especially late in the season, you might not have been super excited by it because there wasn't a lot of razzle-dazzle. We lined up and ran the ball about 99% of the time, so much that I think it got predictable and the other teams knew where it was going, but a lot of times it couldn't stop us. We got down to Empire, and those of you guys that made the trip to Empire, and we had a drive where I think we ran the same formation and the same play, and about ran Blaine to death on that drive, but you know, we call off our risk coaches, so I'll call formation, I'll call play, you know, red 18 and the boys read it. So, you know, we called it, we had a couple different ways we could call it, and we get down to about the 3, and Noah turns back and looks at me and he says, Coach Bowman, you just called the same number. They know what the play is going to be. And I said, I don't care, Noah, we've ran the same play the whole entire way down the field. So if they don't know by now, you know, they're in trouble. But that was kind of the just, I mean, really epitomized this team because these guys worked hard. You know, we weren't just overall like a super fast team, you know, and I hope you guys don't mind me saying that. I'm faster than all of you guys, but if you watch these guys play, you know, we didn't give up a lot of long plays, big plays, because they all flowed to the ball. They all played really, really hard. You know, when I think of Pond Creek Hunter football, I think these guys, you know, really, really fit the picture of it. And so I'm so proud of these guys. Such an amazing season. Throughout the year, we had a lot of guys step up. You know, one of our seniors, Parker Grounds, played really well for us. In the playoffs, Carlos got hurt. Parker had to step in and played well. Same kind of deal. Brady got hurt. Tegan had to come in and play quarterback and really played well in the playoffs too. And so, man, I hope you guys know how proud I am of you for the season because you guys really did play hard. So, a little bit about the seniors, and then I'll let these guys go. But just a couple things. You guys step forward. Blaine Cooper, Parker Brody, Landon Peterson, Aiden Roadcaps, and then Quinn. Parker's not here, but these guys were all big for our program. Really did a good job this year. Just a little bit about each individual one. Blaine has started pretty much all 4 years for us. He's faced a little bit of adversity. Didn't get to play much last year. Got to play like a half, but he was injured throughout the year. But Blaine played a new position this year and played super well. Very proud of him. Blaine played so well that he was named our district's defensive MVP. And then he was also named to be an all-star by class, and there's only 16 players in our class that get that, so that was pretty cool for Blaine.
Good job, Blaine.
Blaine, you guys can go watch Blaine one more time. He made the trip to Miami on June 20th to watch the 8-man all-star game, so he'll get to play in that as well. Cooper Kelso. Cooper's, you know, been here all 4 years, played all 4 years for us, and we started Cooper as a defensive back and moved him to a defensive tackle, probably the smallest defensive tackle in the entire state, but really played well. If you watched Cooper play, it was fun. If you watched me coach Cooper, you know that I was yelling at Cooper constantly. And so it's been weird these first couple practices we've had in spring because I haven't had to yell Cooper, and sometimes I just do it by like a reflex, you know, which just plays going on, like Cooper, and they're like, he's not out here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So, but we'll miss Cooper. Cooper's been a good player for us. Parker, like I said, Parker played really hard. Parker's one of those guys that made the most of his opportunities, and I was very proud of him for how he stepped up this year. Brody Brown, same way. If you guys watch Brody play, Brody's a terrific athlete and played really well for us. Played a lot of different positions over the years for us, and I'd say, hey, Brody, you think you can play this? He'd go, well, I can try. And he did it, and he did it well. Landon Peterson. Landon's freshman year, I tell the story all the time. Landon's freshman year, my first year here, we went to team camp, and I was like, man, I don't know where to play Landon. And the next year, Landon spent a lot of time in the weight room, ends up starting at center for us all 3 years, and played really well and improved every single year. And I think Landon even got to the end to where he actually talked a little bit, and so that was kind of cool. So, Aiden Roadcap. Aiden came to us whenever he was a freshman. First few practices, you know, and really that year I think it was trying to get him to kind of understand what football is about. And man, Aiden was a great practice player, one of the best practice players I've been around. He gave 110% on every rep. And so he was a good a good leader for those young guys and showed them how to practice. And Aiden, we really appreciate that, and I appreciate your growth as an individual and as a football player. And then our last team I'm going to talk about is McQuinn. McQuinn was a great athlete, very versatile. 2 years with us here, moved to us a couple years ago. But if you guys watch McQuinn play, he was exciting. He never knew it was going to happen, and he was good at making things happen. So we appreciate that, McQuinn. Sorry, I know I said this is my last name actually. Guys that made all district this year, just to recognize them. This is voted on by coaches in our district. Blaine, Carlos, Cole, Cooper, Kyson, Teagan, Landon, McQuinn, and Noah made all district. And Ethan made it too. And then Brady, Laker, and Parker were honorable mention. And then our academic team all district, which is a 3.5 or higher GPA. That was Aiden, Blaine, Brady, Carlos, Dalton, Ethan, Cole, Kyson, Laker, Landon, Noah, Parker, Teagan, Trent. That would be Taylor, Tristan, and Hobby all made academic all district. So a lot of guys on there. Like I said, Blaine, McQuinn, and Cooper are going to play in the 8-man All-Star game June 20th. Cooper is going to represent us in the K101 game in Woodward, so we're looking forward to watching Cooper play again. So, like I said, thank you guys for supporting us this year, and we're excited about the next year. So, powerlifting guys, stay up here. The rest of you guys can go sit down. So we'll have your attention now. We're going to transition to powerlifting. This was an awesome powerlifting year for us. Whenever I first got here, I didn't know much about powerlifting, just about the sport itself. I knew quite a bit about, or I thought I knew quite a bit about lifting, but this year powerlifting, these guys right here worked really hard. We start in January. We go to a couple invitationals. In the past, they've always been somewhere down in southeast Oklahoma. This year, we were very lucky. We got to stay up here around. We went to Ringwood, went to Waukomis, and then the regional was at Chisholm, and then state, and our 8-man state was at Enid, and then the state meet was in El Reno. But just a couple accomplishments this year. These guys went to our regional powerlifting meet, and so at powerlifting meets, you lift against people from Class B in football, Class C in football, Class B, Class A, and 2A. So you're lifting against all those guys. They don't divide the divisions up by that. You lift against those guys. But then the points get totaled like they would at a track meet, and then you're only competing for a team against teams in your class. But anyways, these guys went to regionals. We were the regional runner-up, which was pretty cool. That was the first time since I've been here that we've been able to do that. So I thought that was a pretty big accomplishment. Carlos Robinson was a regional champion in his class. And then Laker was the regional champion in his class as a freshman. And then some other guys finished pretty high. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. I know you guys finished high. Obviously did, because we got that award. But and then one of the cooler things, we got to go to state. Carlos qualified for state. Trent qualified for state. Oh yeah, Trent was third, right? At regionals? Or second? Okay, anyways. Trent got to go to state and lift, and then Laker got to go to state and lift. And actually at the state powerlifting meet, these guys did well enough that we were the state runner-up for our class in powerlifting. So that was pretty cool too. So one of the things that we do with powerlifting is we have a 1,000-pound club. If your total lifts for squat, bench press, and deadlift add up to 1,000 pounds, you're in the 1,000-pound club. So this year, Carlos Robinson kind of paced us. He lifted a casual 1,505 total pounds. And Carlos was he was actually the state champion in his weight class at 275 and won by, I think, 60 total pounds. So that was awesome. Very proud of Carlos for that. Landon Peterson, I think he went 11-10 total at regionals, so he's another member of our 1,000-pound club. Laker got to 1,000 pounds at the state meet. I think he was 1040, and then Kane Garcia was at 1,000 total. So once again, very proud of these guys. They all improved. I wish I had their totals. I didn't get a chance to write them down, but from the time that we started lifting at the end of football season till the time we got done in March, these guys all improved on their PRs, totals went up, 20, 30 pounds, and so the commitment that it takes every single day to show up and lift with a purpose that they want to get stronger, it takes a lot. There's days you don't feel like it, and so I'm thankful for these guys that they came out and worked hard, and I got to be a part of it. So thank you. I don't know his name. Coach White's name.
If I could get all of those basketballs to come up here, please. I'll try not to be up here too long, because I'm a rookie and apparently I'm getting timed, so. But I just want to start by thanking all of you for being here tonight to celebrate all of our amazing athletes. I want to show my appreciation to everyone who helped us out this season, which is a lot of you. This season is never just about what happens on the court, it's about the moments in between that make it very special. And it takes an entire community, it takes a village, and I would truly be so lost without mine. To our parents, thank you for decorating locker rooms, providing meals, showing up to games, and supporting not only your daughters, but our entire program. Basketball season is so long, it's the longest season. It stretches through holidays, weekends, breaks, weekends, all the things. And it takes a lot of your time and a lot of time from your families. And so thank you for trusting me with your daughters and sharing them with me during one of the busiest seasons of the year. Our cheerleaders and our basketball boys, I just want to say thank you to you guys. You guys cheered us on every game, and we appreciate all the support you showed all season. Our faculty and administration, your continued support does not go unnoticed, and it truly does make a difference, from the people who keep the scores table, from our gatekeepers, concession stand, all of that stuff, custodian team who take care of our gym. We could not do it without all of you guys. And I want to personally thank Coach Jones, Coach Connerly, and Mr. Sheever. Your constant support, advice, and guidance throughout the season meant so much to me this year as a first-year head coach. I could call Coach Jones anytime, 10 p.m., whenever I needed to ask him questions, get advice, and he always offered wisdom and support. He was a great asset on our bench this year, helping us out. I know Hallie loved having her dad out there, but I truly appreciate everything that you did for us this year. Mr. Sheever always welcomed conversations about anything basketball. I think he kind of just liked talking about anything outside of administration basketball-wise, and so I was always able to go in there to talk to him about plays and drills and different teams, and he always gave me great insight, and so I'm truly thankful for that. To Coach Connerly, thank you for your constant patience. He has to see the good and the bad at school and at home, which can be a challenge sometimes, and he survived basketball season right alongside me, so I'm very thankful that he still wants to marry me after sitting on my bench this season. So, we had some managers this year also that I want to shout out. Tinley Haskin, Elena Davis, Kaylee Dillon, Sophia Chavez, and Jesselyn Dillon helped us out for a little bit. As a coach, you don't really realize how many hands you need to make a program successful, and they helped us so much, from endless filling of water bottles, loads of laundry, all the things. Like, our days would be crazy without them, and so I'm very appreciative of everything that they did this year for our team. Now, on to our girls. This season was special, not just because of wins, but because I truly saw a lot of growth within our program. And I hope that from the outside looking in, you guys could see that from start to finish as well. It was a year of firsts and a year of a lot of change. You guys met me in the middle every step of the way with hard work, open minds, and dedication, and I'm truly so thankful for all of you. When you look back at our season statistically, the biggest thing you see is resilience and competitiveness. Our record may not have told the whole story, but the numbers show a team that continued to fight and improve every single game. We had really big wins later in the season against teams like Covington Douglas, Dover, Geary, and Ringwood, and we played in a lot of close games that showed just how competitive this group can truly be. Statistically, rebounding actually became one of our biggest strengths, which is crazy because if you look at us, we aren't just stacked with a lot of height. But they battled on the glass all season long. And defensively, there were a lot of games where we were able to create pressure against teams and make a lot of people uncomfortable, which I feel like in the past was not something that we were comfortable with. It was something that people were doing to us, and we weren't very comfortable with that. So offensively, we trusted each other a lot. We shared the basketball, and when we did that, I think people were able to see a really dangerous team. And for the future, that's very exciting for me, and I hope it is for them too. But with these girls, one thing I really want to stress is I'm so proud that they never quit on each other. Through adversity, through loss, through difficult moments, they showed up for each other every single day. By the end of the season, I truly believe we laid a great foundation for something bigger going into the next 2 years of Lady Panther basketball. My role as their coach, of course, is to teach them the game of basketball, but what matters to me even more than that is helping them become the best versions of themselves. And with this group, that isn't very hard, because if you look at every single one of them, and if you know them outside of sports and whatnot, they're great kids. I mean, and I could say that for every kid in here. They are great young women. But teaching them discipline, accountability, resilience, and teamwork was such an important thing for me this year, and they made it really easy, to be honest. So every girl standing up here tonight has the ability to become an incredible person far beyond basketball, and that's really what makes me truly proud to be your coach. So with that being said, I'm going to announce some season awards and just kind of talk about some of these girls briefly. I'm going to give them just a certificate of being on the basketball team for each grade level and just announce them. So I'll call your name if you want to come get this and step forward. Carmen Walker was one of our freshmen this season. Andrea Ortiz was another freshman. Alana Banks, our one sophomore. Macy Westrope, a junior. Violet Cargo, a junior. Olivia Jack, a junior. Hallie Jones, a junior. Our junior class is stacked. Chloe Williams, a junior. And our one senior, Callie Chisholm. First off, we had 3 girls that were recognized to the Skelter All-Conference team, and kind of like Coach Kerr said, these are awards where, yeah, you can nominate your girls, you can go in and talk about them, but ultimately it's up to the other coaches around our area and within our conference to vote on them, and so it is a really big deal to get nominated or selected for this conference. So Alana Banks made the Skelter All-Conference team. And then we had 2 juniors, Macy Westrope and Hallie Jones, that made honorable mention. Now on to our senior, or not our season awards. I give out an award every year at every school I've been at, but this award to me is really kind of just putting all of our programs together, and I call it the Heart of a Panther Award. And it kind of just shows toughness, resilience, and relentless effort every day. And truly, I feel like this player exemplifies what it means to be a Panther. No matter how many minutes she got, no matter who she was playing against, whether it was someone bigger than her, she never backed down. She gave everything that she had every single day in practice, every single game, and she always did it with a smile on her face. And so that goes to Chloe Williams. Our most improved player this year, I just want to talk about this girl for a second. At the beginning of the year, her one goal was to get a left hand. So that kind of puts into perspective her mindset going into the season. She just wanted to get better at one thing every day. But she showed tremendous growth throughout the season. I think by the end of the year, our last game of the season, she was playing her best basketball, and that's exactly where you want to be when your season ends. So that award goes to Olivia Jaft. Our Newcomer of the Year award was someone who was new to our program this year. She is a freshman, but she made an immediate impact through hard work. She has a great basketball IQ, embracing the standards of our program, and so I'm very proud of how she represented our team this year. Andrea Ortiz. Our leading scorer for this season, constantly scoring for our team. She was able to also get the leading assist award, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But a key offensive spark throughout the season for us was Alana Banks. Someone that stands out to me that always puts the team first, bringing positivity. This was someone who was always hype in practice, never caught her on a bad day. She was very selfless. She was the loudest one on the bench, always standing up, cheering for her teammates, lifted up everyone around her constantly. Our team first award, Carmen Walker. Our leading rebounder this year goes to Alana Banks. And then our Spark Plug Award, someone who just brings the energy all the time. I feel like if you've watched our team play, you probably know who this is going to. She changes the pace. She's very feisty, whether it's coming off the bench, whether she's in that starting five, but she plays with a passion, intensity, and a speed that is truly one of one. Their effort, their energy is so contagious, and so whenever we needed a spark, she was always there to give it to us. Macy Westrope. And like I said earlier, our assist leader this season, so someone who created the most scoring opportunities for her teammates, was Alana Banks. Our other sharp shooter was someone who was very reliable at the free throw line, so our highest free throw percentage we had on our team goes to Callie Jones. And then someone who was most efficient from the field in general, so our highest field goal percentage award, making high quality shots, maximizing all scoring opportunities, Alana Banks. And then our player who got our highest 3-point percentage was Callie Jones. I'm almost done, I promise. Our leadership award, this is a big one, and this girl is also our one senior this year, but it just goes to show, like, she's been in this program for 4 years. You can tell she's a senior because she really does take that role seriously. She's a player who leads by example. She always uses her voice. I don't think throughout the whole year that she has one bad practice. She was truly herself every single practice. She was pushing her teammates. She was always holding everybody to a standard, always had a good attitude, and she was always committed to the team's success. So our leadership award goes to Callie Chisholm. Someone who I felt like if I were to think about all of the girls on the team, someone who truly just resembles our culture and lives that on the court, off the court. This person reinforces the standards. They take care of business when they're playing basketball, when they're in the classroom, when they're just out in the community. So our culture award goes to Violet Argo. And then I have offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year. So our offensive player of the year goes to Alana Banks. And then our defensive player of the year, the anchor of our defense, goes to Macy Westbrook. Lastly, I just want to thank our great community for everything that you guys do for us. I feel incredibly blessed to be a part of it once again, not only as a player now, but as a coach. The support that we receive does not go unnoticed, and I'm truly excited for what our program holds ahead. I think that in the future, you're going to see a different type of Lady Panther basketball team, and so that's very exciting. So thank you all again for being here tonight.
were 15 and 14, and that may not jump off the page at you, but anyone who followed this team, was a part of this team, knew that they were so much more than the record itself. And for me, in my 34th year of teaching and coaching, it was one of the most gratifying and rewarding seasons I've had, because we were faced with a lot of adversity throughout the year. And these guys did something, and we kind of have a saying, we say handle the hard. And I thought they did. They handled the hard throughout the season. On a positive note, when I turned in their Academic Achievement Award, these young men had a team GPA of 3.66. I think, I think several of them, 4 or 5 of them had 4.0. So they're getting the job done in the classroom as well as on the board. But before I talk any more about the team, I've got to make my plethora of thank yous like everyone else. The coaching staff, Coach Kerr, Coach Bowman, Coach Bolin, Coach Connerly, Coach White. It's a great camaraderie, and you can ask them to do anything, and they're willing to help. Coach Kerr and Coach Bolin run the clock at home games, and that's a thankless job, and it's not real enjoyable, but it's very, very much appreciated. Coach Bowman, I want to thank him for the weightlifting program he started. I really believe it's helped our basketball tremendously since he started it, and we're stronger and we're better athletes because of it. Also, he runs the Squirtle. You know, I know like my parents are older and can't get to all the games, and they watch all the games on the Squirtle. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you to Coach Connerly for sitting on the bench second half of the season. It's always nice to have another set of eyes out there with you. Thank you to Coach White. When Coach White was playing and Tasha was coaching, she wore these really long high heels, and I would sit on the bench next to her and she would stomp her foot. And I was a lot younger then, and I could get out of the way. And Coach White doesn't wear those really high heels, probably because she'd be almost 7 foot tall, but she doesn't wear them and doesn't stomp her feet, so I appreciate that. But in all seriousness, thank you for sitting on the bench, and again, another set of eyes. Cindy Jondro, where's Cindy at? There you go. Cindy keeps our scorebook for us. She sits right next to me, probably hears more than she wants to hear. Just a super positive influence. I'm very, very appreciative. Thank you very much. Thank you to all our teachers, staff, support staff, for holding our kids accountable in the classroom. Thank you for our super supportive administration. Anything that we need, they go above and beyond for us. Mr. Sheaver, Mr. Curry, Mrs. Jones, thank you so much. Thank you to the Board of Education for allowing us to do this. Thank you to all the secretaries, Sabrina. And Sabrina's always emailing something off for me, and Kayla and Desiree, taking all the phone calls. Thank you. Boyd, Jen, Paula, getting the gym clean for us. The PTSA, they help us out. They helped us out big time at the Skelter tournament this year. Thank you. The parents, thank you for all that you do. Most importantly, thank you for entrusting me to coach your sons. It's what I love to do, and you allow me to do that, and I'll be forever grateful for that. And then, finally, to the players, for me, when the season ends, it's always hard because I love basketball, but what's really hard is the attachment that you have and not being around them every day. And these young men were special, but so finally, thank you to the players. I love you. I appreciate you. It's why I do it here, and I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. Also, I want to thank, I have the 2 best managers that I've ever had in Anthony Schaefer and Hunter Simpson. Isn't that right? They were, without a doubt. They're not here, but thank you. And then our huddle / Squirtle people, I hope I don't miss anybody, Izzy and Aubrey and Lily and Ricky, thank you so much for all you did. Real quickly, this season again was a challenge, but that's what makes things sweet. Football had a tremendous season. They went deep, and so you just kind of start playing games. And you have 2 days of practice, and you get out there and play, and it can be frustrating for players because they don't know any plays, they don't know any blobs, they don't know any slobs, and it can be difficult at times. On top of that, we sustained substantial injuries throughout the season. Micah, Blaine, Cole were injured and missed time. And so we didn't have any continuity or any flow or chemistry early. But despite that, and you can ask these guys, at the very beginning, the very first day that I met with them, I told them, I said, we're a state tournament team. Did I not? I did. And there were times during the season when we got breaks beat off us a couple times by Dearden, Lamont, and Chisholm, but they stayed the course, and they trusted me, and they listened, and they trusted each other, and that's what made it special. Our schedule was tough, but I believe in a tough schedule. I really don't care what my record is. I want us prepared when the playoffs get here, because I believe the regular season is just preparation for the playoffs, and I'm sure they heard me say that countless times. But anyway, as the season went on, we got healthy, kind of got on a roll, and then we got in the playoffs. You know, we lost a close one in the district to Timberlake. I knew that we were going to probably see them again in the regional finals. Anyway, we got in the regional tournament, and if anybody saw the Boise City game, I mean, Boise City was the quickest team that we played all year, by far, the quickest team. And we found a way to win, and that was just kind of our mantra, just find a way to win. And then we get another shot at Timberlake, and we beat the brakes off them. It was really enjoyable. And then, you know, so we get who do we get? We get Frontier in first round of the area, and with the exception of us, very few people gave us much of a chance to win that game. And these guys, you know, they went out and they stayed the course, and we were down 11 at one time, and they just kept battling, kept fighting. And if you watch that game, you saw their grit, you saw their toughness, you saw their competitiveness, but you saw a group of young men that believed in each other and played for each other. And so, big win for us. Ball game's over, and I'm making my way to the locker room. My phone rings. That's my son, Cole. And Cole had played Frontier earlier in the season, and Frontier had beat them about 20. And I can't say the exact words that he said to me, but he was so excited, so happy, and couldn't believe. He said, how did you do it? I said, well, you know, we did it together, but I said, they guarded, and they trusted the process. And then we turned around the next day and we beat a good O'Keene team. A lot like us, you know, football school, they were very, very physical, probably the strongest kids that we played. And we fell one game short of the state tournament, losing to Hammond. You know, and again, I told these guys, you know, those guys from Hammond started practice October 1. You know, we started practice December 1. But that's not a good excuse. They beat us, and hats off to them. But this team was, I still believe that they were a state tournament team, and they played like one. And again, what I'd like to say about these guys, what I really, really loved about them was that they handled the hard, whether it was me or the adversity we faced. I would go to war with these guys. We didn't always shoot the ball well. We turned the ball over sometimes, too many times. But one thing they did, they bought into playing defense, and they bought into doing it together. And that kind of became our identity. I want to thank the Pond Creek community. We got on that playoff run, and the crowd got bigger and bigger, and people were coming out and watching us, and you inspired these young men. You really did. We talked about playing for not just us, not just the name on our jersey, but playing for our community and representing Pond Creek kind of the right way. And you know, the Saturday at Shattuck, and then the games at Woodward, these guys fed off the crowd and their vibe. The cheerleaders, where are the cheerleaders at? You guys were awesome. You guys are the best, and you had the crowd involved. Thank you. Again, lastly, to the players, again, thank you for trusting the process, believing in one another, and representing our school with pride. I would go anywhere with them, and they're not going to embarrass you. The season didn't end how I wanted, but we had a season full of growth and toughness and resilience and heart. From the heart, I appreciate you playing for me. It's what I love to do, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. Thank you. I have some awards that I want want to give up. First of all, our two seniors step forward, Mike and Blaine. And you won't find two finer young men than these guys. Give them a hand.
Finest young man I've ever seen.
I mean, great young men, great locker room guys. You won't find anybody that says anything bad about them. Great teammates. But probably the greatest compliment I can give both of them, they understand the word empathy for their teammates. And I think that's very, very important if you're going to have a successful team. If your teammates don't have empathy for each other, it's really hard to become cohesive. And it started with those two. They're not vocal leaders, either one of them. You guys want the mic and talk a little bit? But they are great young men, and they are great teammates. I would always want them on our team. You know, last year, I heard a lot of people say, before the season started, well, we graduated 7 seniors the year before, and, this may not be very good. I knew I had 2 great seniors. I knew they weren't going to be really vocal, but I knew they were going to be lead by example, and they were just outstanding. Couple things about them. Both Blaine and Micah were named to the OCA All-Star by Class team, and there's a patch coming for them, and you'll get it. They both were Skelter Conference. I have your medal right here. In addition to that, Kyson and Eli and Noah were also honorable mentions. Micah was named to the CTV Sports All-Area team, and Micah is also on the OBCA All-Star by Class team that plays Central Star UCO on June the 6th. So we have some awards, and I let the guys vote on it, so it's from them, and so it's I think you get really true awards when you let the players vote on it. If the NBA would let the players vote for the All-Star game, you'd have a lot better All-Star game. Newcomer of the year, we had 2. These 2 young men stepped up and played really well for us throughout the year. And it's not easy to do sometimes as a freshman. Tegan Coward and Creighton Weeder. Both of these young men hit huge baskets for us against Frontier. Tegan comes in and makes a 3, and then it's deuce right after that in the first half, and we were about to get run into that game early, and he made those 2 and kind of stopped one of their runs. And then if you were at the game, Cray hit 2 big monster 3s late in the game that helped propel us to win the Frontier game. Hardest worker award. I had 2. We had a tie, and I think the guys hit the nail on the head here with these 2 guys. These 2 guys are gym rats. If you go to the gym at night, you're probably going to see them in there shooting. Kyson Davis and Eli John.
Great job, Kyson. Good job.
Eli, and this John Groh can probably attest by this. Eli, I was always after him to be more assertive and aggressive, and beginning of the year he wasn't, and I was always on him about playing defense, and he became much more assertive and aggressive, and became a scorer for us, and became a very good on-ball defender. Kyson, 2 people can never have a bad practice or a game. That's the head coach and the point guard. Can't happen. And when you're the point guard, you're going to get chewed on every game. I was a point guard, it's just going to happen. And Kyson got a lot of it. And I dealt it out, pretty severely early. But to his credit, he handled it and got better. And at the end of the year, he was a great on-ball defender. And again, if you saw the Frontier games, that was evident. Best teammate award, Blaine Teft. I agree. Best hair. This one means a lot to me, and it's true. Player with grit, hustle, heart. This guy was always on the floor somewhere, usually bleeding, doing a dirty job, didn't get a lot of shots, just just blue collar guy, Noah Crouch. Defensive stopper again. I said this earlier. Tyson Davis. He became a lockdown. Leadership award. Good locker room guy. A guy that's has great character value. Eli Jondro. Our defensive MVP. He anchored us. He made my job very, very easy the last 4 years. Because if the ball was shot, part of the time he blocked it. And if he didn't block it, he rebounded. Michael Westbrook. Our offensive MVP, Blaine Zepp.
Yeah.
And finally, our team MVP, Michael Westbrook. Again, thank you to all the parents. I'm very fortunate I get to do what I love in the community that I love, with the people that I love. Thank you. Thank you to all the parents that brought food and snacks. Renee Westrope, for the last 4 years, she's made goodie bags, and you guys can, that yummy goodness, thank you so much for that. And all the other parents too. So we may have to recruit you, Renee, one more year, even though Mike's not playing, maybe one more year, maybe get a red shirt year. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Kayla, the love of my life, for allowing me, or supporting me in what I do, all the long hours and watching film and being gone. And we got the playoff assignment, and I was moaning about, I'm going to have to drive the bus to Calumet, and then 2 times to Shattuck, and 3 times to Woodward, and she said, well, I'll drive the bus. And I'm grateful for that. I really think it helped our success, so I love you, honey. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Henson, surely.
Okay, I wrote some things so I didn't ramble. I found a quote, and it says, "A good cheerleader is not measured by the height of their jumps, but the span of their spirit and enthusiasm." And as I read this quote, I thought it sums up what I look for in cheerleaders. Not only if I'm out judging other communities' cheerleading tryouts, but what I look for in our cheerleaders here at Pond Creek. I said, I have lots of beautiful jumpers, and Riley can tumble so much it makes me dizzy to watch her. But really and truly, I look for spirit and enthusiasm, not only when they're cheering, but for each other. And I look for respect and great leaders, and these girls really embody that. I can't tell you the countless number of times this year that our community members came up to me, or teachers, or even people from other communities like, "Are you the cheer coach?" I'm like, "I don't know, am I?" What happened? And they would just come to compliment them. And I would tell them, like, they have grown so much since I became the cheer coach. And so I'm fortunate to have this group of girls who embody that spirit. We had 1 senior, Summer Holden. I have 3 juniors, Chloe, Macy, and Allie. 4 sophomores, Hadley, Riley, Kenley, Peyton, and 2 freshmen, Morgan and Jalen this year. To you guys, I'm lucky to coach you. I spend a lot of
We spent a lot of countless hours together, early mornings, late nights, lots of hours on the road, and lots of stories. I'm proud of our team, and I'm proud of them when they're cheering and rooting on our teams, and not only that, but for each other. I'm proud of them that they're encouraging not only through their words and their cheers, but through their body language and their attitude. I'm proud of how we grew as a team, and that your dedication for practicing early mornings. I'm not sure, a lot of you don't know it, I make them get up at 6, we're here by like 6:15 every, like 3 mornings, sometimes more than that if I think they need it. So we're here early mornings and late nights, just like, you know, the other teams. So I'm proud to get to be your coach. A couple recognitions, I don't know if Cassie's here, but Cassie Barr is my assistant coach. She says she doesn't do anything if you ask her, and that's a lie. Literally will do anything. I can last minute call her and be like, have an emergency. Yep, I'm there. Or, she would drive. Yep, I'll do it. We need snacks. Sure. We need to go to Walmart. Sure, I can do it. So she literally is my yes girl, and I appreciate you. To our coaches, I appreciate you guys for supporting our girls as we support your teams. I know that I truly felt like they were supported by you guys. I know our elementary kids aren't here, but like, I literally tell them thank you all the time. I think they make them feel like rock stars. I mean, they literally like are fans. So thank our elementary teachers and our students. Let's see, I have 4 all 8-man football game cheerleaders this year. You can actually apply when you're a junior and a senior, so I wanna recognize them. Summer is going to go cheer, and Allie, Chloe, and Macy are all cheering in June. So if you're looking for something to do to help cheer on that, my last recognition that I really want to recognize is Summer. She's our only senior this year, and I actually got to coach her through middle school, and then I wasn't the high school coach for a couple years, but I was so honored to get to come back and coach her and watch her grow into like an amazing young lady. She has so much potential, and I can't wait to see what she does in life. So we're really proud of you, and we got her a little something, so I just want to present it to her. And I didn't do any words, but I guess I need to. But I love you guys.
We love you too.
Get all the trap shooting up. Come up, please. I promise you I'm gonna be short and sweet, I'm not much of a talker. Our trap shooting team is actually made up of 7th through 12th grade. We had roughly 14 kids that shot this year. Our season is very short. We have 1 regional shoot, and if we qualify for state, that's all we get. So, we did qualify for state. We ended up being 8th in our region, and we qualified for state, and we got a bad draw and had to go up against the number 1 team in the state. And they eventually won the state tournament. So I appreciate all these kids that worked throughout the short season. I know that they, and I appreciate all the coaches on letting these kids come out, getting away from their spring sports and so we could, practice. Also, I want to give a special thanks to, the Chisholm Trail Pheasant Forever Club. They actually fund this program for us, and they donate about $10,000 to our program, with it being clay pigeons and also shells. So none of this money, so the kids don't have to spend anything out of their pocket or their parents' pocket. Another person I would like to thank is the ones that help me, especially when I am doing stock shows, is Mr. Childress and Mr. Steve Shriver. They help me while I'm finishing up stock show season, so these kids could start practicing, because from about the end of February all the way till the end of spring break, I am only home for about 4 or 5 days through that time. So I couldn't do it without them. At last, I'd like to recognize our seniors, Cooper Kelso and McQuinn Baker. All right, so that is it. Thank you, guys.
While these guys are making their way up here, I'm just gonna start by saying, I did make an A in my speech class in college. However, I didn't write a single speech in college. It might make my speech professor a little mad, but, so I have a speech written, and I'm probably going to say about 20 words from it, and the rest are just gonna be off the top of the head, so we'll see how that goes. Ultimately, a lot of these guys already hit it, but this school, in this community, to do anything, it takes everyone. In a small school, you know, we have 90 high schoolers right around there. And we have, I mean, we're talking about at least 10 different sports up here tonight. We couldn't do it without each other, without sharing these athletes, without encouraging these athletes to go play other sports, or you know, to go to powerlifting, to go to trap shooting, or whatever it may be. And we really need a village amongst our athletics department. I think we have that, and I think a lot of that stems from this community. I heard a lot about the Pond Creek community before I became a member of it. Obviously, I'm marrying into the Pond Creek community. I'm extremely thankful for that, and she had a lot of great things to say about it, and she's the one that dragged me here, and I'm so grateful for that. For you guys to welcome me in here, middle of the year, I know it was a tough thing for a lot of you. I know this program, this baseball program, the Hendricks name means a lot. And I know it wasn't something that you guys took lightly throughout this process. And I'm extremely grateful that you guys trusted me to take on this role. And I hope I can make you guys proud. I'm giving you everything I have. And I think these boys are giving their all. And I think it's going to be something that you're going to be really proud of for a long time around here. Just from a empirical side, I'll kind of walk through the season a little bit. We opened up on the road at eventually I think they ended the season as the number 4 ranked team in 2A1, Tonkawa. Really, really solid baseball team. We went into their place, played with them. They took the lead early. We battled back, tied it up. They took the lead again. we came right back out, tied it up again. Eventually lost that game 7-5 against maybe the best pitcher we saw all year, and one of the best pitchers in the state, one of the best teams in the state, definitely one of the best teams in this area. We came back home, and we decided that we weren't happy with that taste we had in our mouth, and we went and put it on Timberlake and beat them by 10 at our place, and that was a lot of fun. Big moment for me. That was my first win as a head coach. That was a lot of these boys' first win as high school baseball players, and it was something that coming into the year they kind of talked about how there weren't always a bunch of fans at baseball games, and I talked about, I'm gonna take this off. I talked about taking gate or running a concession stand or doing things to try to get the community involved at games, and these kids were like, no, there's really not that many people there. And I show up to the first game, and I think we probably had 150 people there. I mean, it was packed. The stands were packed. It was people were sitting in their chairs down the line, and we put on a good show for them. And I think that was a real exciting moment for me, and for them. It was a big welcome to high school baseball. You guys showed up and let them know that you're going to be there for them. And that kind of leads to my next point in thanking the parents. You guys have been so supportive of me. You understand the struggles of a young head coach who's not near as organized as his fiance, and you guys were able to help me with that. Help provide post game meals. Help provide these kids. I don't know if Steve's here tonight, but he had a cooler full of Gatorade, water, Snickers, beef jerky, whatever it was, every single game. And I don't think these kids would have made it through the season without that. But I mean, really, every single parent out there, you guys are what drove all of the logistical things for us this season. I'm so grateful for you guys for that. Whenever I took this job, and I stepped into this role in January, I knew it was going to be tough. Midway through the year, teaching a whole bunch of new classes, coaching a whole bunch of. I got here in January and we played our first game in March. First week of March, and so we even had a scrimmage in the middle of February. So I had about 6 weeks to figure out a lineup with people I had never met before. Pretty tough. And from day one, when I stepped in here, not a single one of these guys ever gave me any trouble, any pushback on anything that I tried to do. They were fully bought in, and it's not a show either. And I think these other coaches can say the same thing. These kids, there's no fake hustle out of these kids. Whenever you see them, whether it's in practice and games, whatever, it's not for show. That's just because they have so much heart, so much passion for what they're doing, and they want to make like we heard earlier. Coach Jones was talking about making the community proud and playing for the community, and that's exactly what these boys do. And it extends off the basketball court. You see it on the baseball field. I saw it on the football field in the stands in the fall. They really are proud to be a part of this community, and it's so amazing to see. Throughout the season, we experienced kind of every possible emotion, and I think that's just the way baseball is. We had moments that were full of laughter, moments with frustration, and even some moments towards the end of the year filled with some tears. And I truly believe that the willingness to experience all those emotions together, and the desire to experience them together really, is what made this team special. And it's what makes really any team special. If you can get a group of guys that are willing to go to battle, go to war together, and also not afraid to let somebody see them cry, that means they really trust each other, they really care about each other, and they really have each other's backs. And the game of baseball just has a way of testing you emotionally that not many games do. It's a game full of failure. It's it's really, really hard to succeed, and it's even harder to succeed at a sustained pace. One of my favorite quotes these guys heard me say at the end of the year, Jim Valvano, Jimmy V. If you guys have heard his speech, I think it was like from 1993 ESPYs or something like that. He said, there's 3 things everybody should do every day. So number 1 is laugh. Number 2 is think. Spend some time in thought, some deep thought. And number 3, you should have your emotions move you to tears. If you laugh, think, and cry, that's a heck of a day. And he went on to talk about how being moved to tears doesn't have to be a sad thing, right? You can be moved to tears of joy. And I think for us, throughout the season, we experienced all of those things at some point in the year. And I think there was one specific day where we got to experience all 3 within the span of about an hour. And what was really cool about that day, we're a baseball team. And we got to do this on the football field, actually. I took these guys to Disneyland. They had a great time. And we saw tears, we saw yelling, we saw, I think Blaine almost passed out from holding like a 5-minute plank. And it was a great time. And those are the moments for me that I truly will never forget. And I know just because I've been in your shoes, you guys aren't going to forget that stuff either. And when we cross paths down the road, that's going to be something that you'll bring up to me. We'll talk about it, and we'll laugh about it then. And probably not cry about it anymore, hopefully. But that was a fun time. And I think we saw a lot of growth in our team from that point forward, not only in the physical aspect, but also just how we handled each other, how we talked to each other, and how we competed together. Baseball is something that demands passion because it can be a boring game. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to have fun. It can be a boring game, I get that. And everybody that's ever played it for long enough to tell you they've been bored by it at some point. It demands passion, it demands toughness, and resilience. But the great thing about it is it also teaches you how to handle those things, how to handle adversity, and also how to handle success. And I think that's something that these boys really kind of figured out as the season went on. At first, early in the season, we were surprised by success, and our failure didn't really fuel us very much. We were kind of complacent early, and we were not getting the outcomes we wanted. And at first, we were kind of okay with that. And then they realized how good they could be. Something clicked. They realized that this was not the same team they've been a part of before. This was a new group, new beginning, new opportunities, and a new outlook. And with that, they decided they hated failure, and they decided they really enjoyed winning and excellence, and that's something that they expected. And by the end of the year, that's kind of the baseball we were playing was, if we didn't execute a pitch, if we didn't execute a bunt, if we didn't execute a hit and run, we were mad, okay? And we didn't use that anger in a negative way. It went from early in the year, if we got mad, it was maybe we, threw our batting gloves in our helmet in our bag, or maybe we put our head down and walked back to our position or whatever. And by the end of the season, that's not what it was. Whether it was Creighton walking out to the mound and talking to Tegan, and I don't know what you always said out there, but whatever you said worked every single time. My mound visits, worthless. If Creighton went out and talked to him, it fixed everything. So I don't know what you guys were saying, but you can keep that up. And there's lots of other examples of that, but that's just the first one that popped into my mind. And just the way we changed how we handled those things were really, really cool. For you guys, we won some awesome games. We lost some games we didn't want to lose. But what I'm going to remember most about you guys is you gave me the opportunity to do what I've always wanted to, why I came into this profession. And that was to hopefully play at least a little bit of a role in developing you guys into young men that are going to go out and marry someone's daughter, and lead another group of young men, or take over and manage a company and lead a company. And if I can do even the slightest bit of guiding you into that direction, and building you into a person that I'm proud of, you're proud of, your parents are proud of, that's ultimately why I took this job, why I pursued this career, and you guys were kind of my first opportunity to really have the reins on that, and I'm really, really thankful for you guys for that. I have some awards here to give out. First one, this is going to be the Practice Player of the Year. So, the thing about this award, with baseball, okay, especially getting these guys, I think, 5, 6 of you played basketball. We don't get to have many practices. We play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And this guy, he brought the energy, effort, and the vibes to every practice. If we couldn't make a play in 21 outs, or needed to see what a good hard 90 looked like, I knew I could always count on Cole to show that to us. And he really was a great leader at practice. He was vocal, he was energetic, and we couldn't have had near as much success and growth in practice for what Cole Chavez. Next award is the Heart and Hustle Award. So this goes to a guy who really he would do anything for the team, including put his face on the line. And he might have permanent damage from that, but he did it going full speed, going all out, and trying to stretch a double to a triple for like the 8th time unsuccessfully on the year. Tegan Coward was the guy I could count on whenever I needed somebody that was going to go out and give everything he had. And Silver Slugger Award. This guy, he did baseball. Finished the year with a slash line. So slash line in baseball, that's your batting average, your on base percentage, and your slugging percentage. So his average was .430. On base percentage was .559, and he slugged .696. It's pretty impressive. This dude also hit probably I'll say probably the most exciting home run I've ever seen in my life, to give us the lead against Wacomas in the top of the 7th inning, and I about lost my mind. So this is Laker Easley. Dude dominated. And Gold Glove Award. Okay, this guy had 149 total chances to make a play. Of those 149 chances, he made 2 errors. That's a 98.7% of the time he fielded the ball cleanly and made the play he was supposed to make. That's consistency if I've ever seen it. Worked his butt off behind the plate, catching for us, and was great at second base. Turned a few really big double plays for us. It's Laker Easley again. This guy, this award was originally going to be called something different, but it didn't fit on the certificate. So it is now Mr. Free Bases. And this award goes to a guy who always found a way to get on base. It might not have been pretty, it might not have been what most people wanted to do, but he wanted to do it, and he eventually invested in some nice armor to protect him. Got himself an elbow guard because he was trying to get hit in the elbow. Blaine led the team with 20 hit-by pitches this season in about 28 games. So that's, you can do some math. You have a good math teacher. That's almost once a game. This next award is the Grit Award. If you guys look up grit in the dictionary, to get to the person you think about that, it's kind of weird to think about something rough. If you use something rough long enough, it's going to make something smooth, and that just doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. But then when you bring it into baseball, it makes a whole lot of sense. And the more somebody goes through, the better they're going to come out of it in the end. And this guy became a starter for us late in the season and never really looked back. Anytime he was called on to do something, execute a bunt, execute our newly found Garber play, that's what we named it. This guy made it happen. Patrolling right field, handled everything hit his way, and became kind of a really important, really key piece of our lineup. Even had some really big at bats in the regional tournament. This is Weston. Pitcher of the year. This goes to a guy who, only guy on the team threw a no-hitter this year. He had the highest strike percentage, had the highest strikeout to walk ratio on the team. March 20th was his no-hitter against Omega. He didn't even know he threw it. That's a guy who just goes up there and does his job and controls what he can control. That's Cooper Kelso. This next award is the clutch hitter of the year. This guy had an insane 536 batting average with runners in scoring position. That means over half the time he had somebody on second or third, he got a hit. He also had 8 2-out RBIs, hitting out of our leadoff spot most of the year, and he left the fewest runners on base on the team. This is Creighton Weaver. Last one, I know. This is the Gamer Award. When the lights come on, this guy shows up, and he is the very definition of a competitor. You see it on the baseball field, you see it on the football field. He's going to do everything he can to will his team to win, no matter what he has to go through. This is Brady Sherman. I'll let these guys go sit down now. Thank you guys once again for welcoming me and everything you've done to help me throughout the way. It couldn't be more great.
Hey, can I have the girls help, please? I had 5 golfers this year. Izzy Weber was not able to make it, but I didn't want to not mention her. Thank yous, mine will be short. I know they're all the same. I do want to say thanks to my husband because he does coach the boys golf team, but he does a lot of driving for practice, which enables me to get home and cook supper. So he gets to drive to Enid and come back and then drive back to Enid every day for golf practice. So I do appreciate that. I have great parents. I don't think there was one tournament where I didn't have parents, and that's a little hard for us sometimes because golf's during the workday. It's always on a weekday, so somebody's always taking off work to make it to our tournament. So I do appreciate that. And then teachers, we miss a lot of school. Like I said, we're missing work days for parents. Well, they're missing school days when they go to golf tournaments, and they're all day. And they're rarely, I think we had one Friday tournament on a non-school day. So all of our tournaments are missing full school days. And that's, we depend on those teachers to have some understanding and to help cover my class as well when I'm gone, so I do thank them. Our goal, or my goal this year for them was to have fun. And I think they did that. And I say that not lightly, not because we didn't want to do our best, but because it's really easy to get bogged down in the swing mechanics and types of shots and things that come along with the golf game. And I know a lot of you guys out there probably play golf, and you go and you do that after work, and you go do that for fun, and it's something you do for enjoyment. And I didn't want us to lose sight of that, because this is something that they're going to be able to do, in their lives and their professions. There's a lot of work that goes on the golf course too. So I wanted that to be a prime focus for them. And I say that, but
a team that likes to play fast, so we take pride in that, I think. We had a short season. I hear that a lot through some of the other coaches. Our season, you know, with basketball, you can't, we end basketball, you know, late every year, which is awesome, but that leaves a lot of that short golf practice time. So, our tournaments usually fall right after spring break, and with some new OSSAA changes, we had to get 5 tournaments in a 3-week period. And kind of late notice for me on that too, but we got it crammed in there. We did that, and that was, we had to do that to even be able to qualify for regionals. So got those 5 tournaments in, and we did qualify for regionals, and got to go to Guyman. That was windy, and it was a good trip. I got to spend the night, but got to go to Guyman for regionals, and that is unfortunately where our season ended. But I will say, I don't have awards. We don't really do awards in golf, but we had one great finish. We hosted a tournament of our own this year, and in that tournament, 4 of the 5 girls broke 100, and that's really big, especially in 2A golf. So our score was a 392, and Enid actually beat us by 1 stroke in that. So the fact that we were competing with a 6A team and got beat by 1 stroke, 1 shot, I was super, super proud of them. That was, I don't know, I was shocked, and not that they couldn't do that, they've done that through the season, but when it all came together as a team for all of them, that was, it was fun. It was fun to watch, fun to be a part of that day. And I think, gosh, we had everybody there. I think all the parents were there to watch that one too. That was a really good tournament. So proud of them. I will have everybody back next year, which makes me extremely excited. We will get to do this all over again, and I know we'll come back with even better results next year. We do have, also, I know some of the other teams, we have, yes, our GPA, I believe, was a 3.78, which ranked in the upper 10% of our classification, and they will receive a distinguished academic plaque for that. So congratulations. And that's about all I have, but I'm really excited. We plan to do a fall season, like I said, with some of those OSSA changes. They offer a fall golf season that doesn't always work out for us, but for us to not be so cramped next year, I'm looking forward to our fall season, and starting it off a little bit earlier next year.
So in golf, in order to have a team, you have to have 4 or 5 players. If you have 5, they all shoot and take 4 best scores. We had 4. Trig Peg is not here. As my wife alluded to, my goal was to have fun as well, because Eli and Noah can attest to this. We come out of basketball where Coach Jones is, you know, breathing fire and yelling and screaming and, you know, getting his hands, play defense, and, you know, take a good shot, something like that. And I wanted to have a good time at golf, so I'm a lot more laid back out there. Even though there's sometimes I want to look at Eli or Noah and say, you know, hit the 7! They're hitting something else. But again, golf should be a fun game. You know, it's the only sport where you can walk many, many miles, lose half a dozen golf balls, talk to yourself only, and still call it fun and relaxing. The other thing about golf, as a young man, you can learn 2 things. You can learn more than 2 things, but I'm going to share 2 things that you can learn. You can learn how to cuss, and you can learn how to gamble when you're playing golf. As my wife alluded to, the OSSA were not very informative about the number of tournaments you had to play in, and they also limit the number of instructional days that you can go play, and we were probably in violation of that. But you had to play in 5 tournaments to be eligible as a team to qualify for golf, and we were not able to play in 5 tournaments. You had to play in 3 tournaments to be eligible to qualify as an individual, which we did play in that. Unfortunately, we didn't qualify as a team or individually. They take the top 48 teams in our class to qualify. But the very first tournament we went to, I think we shot 415 as a team, and I think the best that we shot was maybe 389, which probably about 26 strokes, something like that. But they did get better, and golf is, as Kayla alluded to, I'm not a swing coach, and very few golf coaches are. And it's a game that you have to spend a lot of time by yourself and work on the game. But these 3 guys every day, I mean, they went to the golf course, and I really think they have an affinity. I think they love golf, they enjoy playing, and they're a lot of fun to be around. Golf is a sport that's going to start usually at about 6 o'clock in the morning or at midway, right? And then we travel wherever to the tournament, and it's either really, really cold, you have to bundle up. The last tournament, I said, bring a jacket, bring a hoodie. And some of us did, and some of us didn't. So it can be incredibly cold, or you can get sunburned. But golf is a great sport. It's a life sport. It's something that they can do for the rest of their life, and I'm sure they will. I want to thank these guys. They were a joy to be around. I loved every minute with them. Just love being around them. Like I said, Trig Peck was on the team. We got to find one more golfer next year so we can have a team. All right, thank you.
Okay, you guys that went out for track this year, boys and girls, please come up. Why they are coming up, I wanna go through all my thank yous. I have a lot here. A lot of the same ones the other coaches talked about, the administration, allowing us to go to all these track meets. Coach Pete, getting the bus ready, I always call and ask him, hey, what am I taking? And he would always have something ready. Miss Barr and, Morgan. Morgan was like the mother hen of our team this year. She brought, her and Miss Barr would bring coolers of water and snacks and food and the tent. Next year we might try to get our own tent if it doesn't blow away, but, they always had stuff for us. I'd be like, hey, when she leaves, I don't know what we're gonna do because they always had everything prepared. Miss Westrope also, I heard Coach Jones talking about her. She had goodie bags for us for regionals, all kinds of snacks. Last year I didn't remember to thank the people that helped us with our track meet, and I wanted to do that. The last few years we've hosted 2 track meets, a high school and junior high in a 5th and 6th grade, and if you guys know how track meets are, it takes a ton of people to run one and run them effectively. I wanted to thank some of our, there's a lot more than this, but the ones that I thought of, Miss McReynolds and Miss Pendergraft that would come and help run the discus, Mr. Hensey run the shot, Coach White did the high jump, Coach Connerly did the long jump. Coach Jones was my heater, and that allowed me to coach my kids during that, so I didn't have to do an event, so I was really appreciative of it. And they did an awesome job. And every year, our track meet seems to get bigger because people like to come to our track meet because it's run so well. I've had nothing but compliments, and that's because of all those guys, so I'd like to give them a hand. Some of those guys, like Coach White, Coach Connerly, I asked them about 3 days before the meet. I was like, okay, you guys do want to do the long jump or the high jump? So they didn't know for sure till right at the last minute what they were doing, but they did an excellent job. And then all the kids too. We had lots of helpers that helped us, and they were, I can't even name all of them. We had so many, but they did a great job. I
wanna go through here, I don't know who's all here, but, I wanna talk about, a little bit of our season. I know track is, like, I counted it up, we started right after spring break and we're done by, the 1st of May. So it's a 7-week season, it goes really fast. We went to 8 track meets, not counting regionals and state, sometimes 2 a week. These guys did a great job. I wanna recognize our freshmen girls, Morgan and Andrea, were our 2 freshmen, and is Cody Chance here? No? Cody Chance and Nick was our freshman boys. Then we had sophomores, Alana, Kennedy, Hadley, Tyson, Kane, Rance, Carlos, and Ethan. That's our big class. What? Carlos.
Wait, say that again?
That's it?
He said.
Oh, yeah, I have it marked on.
I'm a junior.
Come on now. Carlos is a junior. Sorry. I was hoping you were a sophomore. I was hoping I'd have him in next year. I wrote it down. Juniors, Ember, Macy, Cole, and Carlos. And then our 2 seniors, Blaine and Parker. And Parker's not here tonight, but Blaine came out for his senior year, and I'm proud of him for doing that. It allowed us to run some relays. It might not have went as well as we would have liked at the end, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And again, when we went to regionals at Cherokee, everybody already knows how the results went. We had, it was a stacked regionals. We didn't have anybody, relays that made it. We had a couple of individuals that made it, and I'll talk about them in a second, but I got to looking that we had, I don't know, this is if, ands, or buts, but Macy missed making it in the 400 meter by 0.3 of a second. She was the first one out. They take 16 in the state, and she was the 17th. She had the 17th best time. So we had several that was like that. Kennedy was the first one out in discus. They take 16. She was the 17th. She was 1 inch away from making it to state. And then Alana was just a couple inches from making it to state in the high jump. So we had several that was just near misses. That was unfortunate. That I've never had that happen before, where we had so many that was the next person out. If they were 1 inch or just a little bit, a hair faster, they would have been going to state as well. So that was kind of unusual. Then our 2 that made the state, Ember, I was supposed to mention too, she made it to state in powerlifting. She's not here tonight. She also made it to state in the shot, and she got 7th place in shot, which is out of 16 people. She was 1 spot from getting a medal. They medal top 6. Kyson had a tremendous year. We already talked a lot. I talked about him on Facebook a lot, just how impressed I am by him. Started a new event this year, never done it before. He just kept getting better and better and better. Went and competed at regionals in it, ran a PR, made it to state, had the one of the faster times coming in, 4th fastest time coming in, and he just done a great job all year. Then Friday, 300 hurdles, you have to run it twice. You got to run it on Friday, qualify in the top 8, and then you got to turn around on Saturday and run it again. And he ran a PR of 41.78 on Friday, and then turned around on the finals and ran a 41.11. And so he ended up 4th at state and was on the podium, and I'm really proud of him. I said I was going to skip this short because I'm one of the later ones, but I also wanted to recognize everybody. I hope in the next year we're going to have a big 8th grade that'll be freshman class coming up that's really good at different sports. I hope we can continue to grow our track program because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. These guys found out this year that it wasn't easy. Everybody doesn't just make it by showing up. But, I was really proud of everybody, and, I thank the parents for allowing me to coach your kids, and that's all I got.
Will archery come up, please? Archery was, handed to me. I seriously have a hearing loss, and when you have a hearing loss, you say, okay, a lot when you don't know what's going on. And that's how I became an archery coach. But this year was the second year we had archery. I was really proud of these guys. Kind of figured some stuff out last year and came in this year and worked really, really hard. We had a meet at Chisholm School. We had a meet at Autry, and then we also had a meet at Medford. And they did really, really well. Medford actually, I think there were 4 schools there, and our kids, I think we had 3 that placed in the top 4 in their division. Is that right? And really proud of them. We went to state, performed really, really well. The thing about archery is you have to really be driven individually. You go and you shoot, you show up to practice, you go and you shoot for individual points, and you don't have to be at practice, right? It's kind of optional. But it definitely showed, and who did show up. Really proud of Kaylee. I had one other, Hadley Harder is not here, but she's another one I want to shout out to, Coach White, because Hadley would show up in her basketball uniform and say, Mrs. McReynolds, I can only shoot 1 round, and I've got a game. And Kaylee would come in and she would shoot, and she'd say, Mrs. McReynolds, we're really practicing hard, I've got to get back over there, but I want to shoot my round before I go. And that shows a lot of dedication, because we had students who chose just not to come. And so, super proud of these girls. They're building and growing. Jesslyn doing really, really well. She's one of our best shooters, and she looked at me one day and said, Miss McReynolds, how do I aim? I said, what do you mean? And she said, how do I aim? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You point your arrow. And she said, I don't get it. And I'm like, kid. And then she placed, I'm like having this conversation while we're at Autry, and then she was one of the higher shooters at Autry, and I was so proud of her. I was like, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And so she did really, really well. We have a Gold Circle Club. That's if you are in a competition or in practice, if you hit all of your arrows in a Gold Circle, you are on that club. And I think were you?
No, but I shot 6 10s at state, so
She
it's
shot
not
6
fair.
10s at state. But they overall, they did really, really well. I also, Mr. Hensey reminded me, I wanted to thank Pheasants Forever. Archery is not really something that you have people come to, so there's not really something that you can do for a fundraiser. And they bought us bow bags, so we weren't just carrying our bows around like we had been in competition. They replaced our arrows. They bought us our team shirts, and they even provided dinner for us when we went to state. So I'm very thankful. I think they put about $3,000 into our program this year. So I'm really proud of them. We have 15 shooters this year, and it does go from 6th grade to 12th grade. So very proud of them overall. Girls. I have all of them here because I wasn't sure who would come tonight. So I want to give them a hand for the time that they put in.
coaches, thank you so much. To the parents that I got in your way, or one of my shooters got in your way, I'm really sorry. Thank you for being kind. I had one person this year tell one of the photographers to get out of their way. And I know we're up there in the middle of all of it a lot, and so thankfully there was one, not many. But, being able to be in that position, coaches, I've always had a respect for what you do and the time and the effort you put in. But it really showed a new side to me about the time and the work that you put in, and athletes, how much you actually do out there on the field or, on the court, you know. So anyway, I'm super proud of you, and thank you all. Were you closing? Thank you.
This brings our all sports ceremony to a conclusion. We want to thank all the athletes, all the parents, all the community people for making this a special and successful year. Palm Creek Hunter Athletics is built on hard work.